Hi everyone, welcome to our new episode of Beautiful Me. So as you can see, today we are seated outside around this round table and stools, which I'm sure most of our audiences would have found them quite familiar. So Kenny, what do you think this really reminds you
Yeah,
of?
I want to say that this is not familiar to me because once I say familiar, it reveals my age.
The bluff.
Yeah. But now I think this really reminds me of childhood, and this reminds me of how when I was younger, right, my parents or like the older folks, right, around the place I was staying, they would gather here in the morning, during lunch, after work, after the evening walks, right, just to gather here, just to communicate, just to get together, to reunite, to reunion, and just almost like a reunion kind of table. Yeah, it brings people together.
Yeah, and I think this is a perfect setting for us to talk about today's topic, which is about communication and miscommunication. Right, so this is a very good segue into today's focus. The topic, right, is about communication and miscommunication.
Yeah, and even I think on the miscommunication part, right, I think it's very interesting. What does miscommunication actually means to you?
So for me, miscommunication is when the intended message, right, from the person who's telling the other party gets misinterpreted by the other party himself or herself. Yeah. And that's when, it's like assumptions kicked in and the perceived intended message didn't get through, right? And it can cause like certain emotions or even interpretations of what's right, what's wrong of that sort. Yeah.
And do you have a recent example of something that was miscommunicated to you?
In the office setting, I recall it's I observe because I care a lot about our team members, right? Even though not all of them realize that. And
Miscommunication.
yeah, or maybe not communicative enough. And I remember sitting down with a colleague and really, I mean, because of her work performance wasn't really the same compared to the past. It's what's going on? Is there any challenges or that sort? And when she didn't want to say too much. And in the end, I started asking quite reflective questions is there anything that you think is in your personal life that's really causing this to happen? Is there, you really look deep inside you, or in your past memories, are there anything that could have caused you to react this way or to be this way right now? And in the end, a well-intended care and concern didn't come out quite far because I received feedback subsequently through other people that she actually was quite offended.
Oh my God. So your care and concern became she felt offended.
She felt offended.
Oh my God, it was received so differently.
And I was like, exactly. Then I was like, oh, I really came from that space that I really wanted to help her or to coach her. Then it made me realize that, actually coaching or even asking such questions may require permission from the other person, right? Because you shared with me before, when it comes to coaching, you do need to seek permission whether you can ask certain questions. So then that's when, it was only until then I realized, that's how miscommunication could turn out to be. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I think this is so interesting because the good intention, right, sometimes may be perceived differently as well from individuals to individuals as well. So we cannot assume that our good intentions is always felt as a good intention all the time also.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And how about yourself? Do you have any past incidents to share?
I've got actually a very, very funny story to share. So I was actually working in Hong Kong for about 7 years back, right? At the point in time when I went to Hong Kong, because Hong Kong people speak Cantonese, so my Cantonese wasn't very good, even though I'm Cantonese. So when I went there and I was attending a meetings, right, I realized my director at the point in time, right, she always used this term, which I'm like, why do you have to say that? So every time, right, when we're in a meeting, he said, oh, I'll come back to you, right? She always say that,我轉頭返嚟同你講. So, and if you translate it directly, means past experience and everything, right? They give them a new meaning to that. Yeah. So because of that, sometimes this happens. Yeah. And when I get to know that, what do you mean? Why do you have to turn your head around, right? So at the point in time, because I was still, my Chinese was so bad, right? I'm like, every time when she said that, I'm like, you didn't turn your head around. Why do you have to turn your head around, right? Then later I realized that, oh, it's just a figure of speech. She's just saying that I will revert back to you, or I will, come back to you later. But it's a
Right.
君讨, like literally turn head. So that caused so much misunderstanding, like, or miscommunication towards me. I'm like, why do you have to turn your head around?
I'm curious.
Yeah.
So when you have heard her say that like in the past, right?
Yeah.
What did you make it mean?
I was actually waiting for her to turn her head around.
Ah,
Like, for example, in the meeting room, I was like. So what do you think usually causes people to misunderstand each other from your observation, right? Because you're managing teams, you are communicating with people on a day-to-day basis as well. What do you think is a common pattern that causes people to misunderstand each other?
yeah, when people are not present to the conversations that are happening, not present to the things that are happening in the environment, that's where miscommunication happens, like can take place. When I say being present, literally means it's not just showing up physically, like sitting down here, but it's really listening, like doing a lot of active listening when we have like conversations with each other. And sometimes words can only communicate so much. It's probably what 10%, right?
It is.
Of the meaning, but
Yes.
a lot of times like body language, the tonality used and all, they all can communicate so much more
1000%.
than that 10% that the words can do. So I think, and in order to interpret that, you actually need to actually practice active listening.
So true. You are a very good example of active listening because when I review, right, you're always so curious. You're always like, wow, your eyes are light up, right? I really feel that you're very present. And this is not normal because, when I'm looking at, doing in a restaurant, right? When I'm always out for dinner or lunch, I always like to observe how couples are with each other. And most of the time, I don't know whether do you agree and have you observed, they're always on their phone.
It is.
Kids, everybody, like, you can see, have a whole table. Please superimpose an image over here, right? Everybody's on their phone. I'm like, where's the presence? So thank you so much for reminding us. It's the in presence of, are we in present right now?
And how about you? What do you think, Kenny, about
That causes miscommunication in others. Presence is a very, very good point. Another one, right? I think expectations. Yeah, when there is I expect you to know, or I expect you that you shouldn't ask me anymore. Oh, that's where I think it's the beginning of miscommunication because we change every day, the situation change every day, that maybe what was working in the past might not be working now. And it's always a constant like checking in, like, is this still relevant? Is this still what you want? And to let go of the expectation, I feel. Yeah, that really allows us to almost like be like kids again, to have an empty cup every single time. So I think a lot of times when I see people, or even myself sometimes, right, when frustrations comes out from miscommunication, it's because of my expectations. How would you describe your communication style maybe? What is your communication style?
Open.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you are very open.
Yeah.
You're very open.
I think being open about having conversations also means that you must be willing to be vulnerable, to receive the truth, what other people want to say to you, right? And quite often or not, I realize, well, I can be very, very open, but I don't think like everybody can be as open. I think the different levels of openness is also different.
I like this.
Yeah.
I really like this. It's just different levels of openness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and if you okay, let's say we have an open scale, right? 0 to 100. Where are you?
99.
I was surprised you never say 100.
I cannot. So how about yourself? 0 to 100%.
Ooh. Okay. Generally about 80%. Like that's my usual. Sometimes it go more or less, and it really depends on. I love it. I love just now what you say, the different levels of openness, because it really depends. When I first started getting to know myself and being a life coach, right, I was like, oh my God, everybody need to be open. Then I went there, right, 100%. Some people was like, you're crazy. You're like too much already. Can you dial it down? Then I realized that sometimes I have to match and mirror.
Yeah.
Whoever am I talking to, whoever I'm listening with, right? It has to be an adjustment so that they
Very
kind of
true.
feel,
Yeah.
or they feel that you resonate with them. So meeting them where they are. So generally 80%, depending on who do I meet, it varies. Yeah. So how would you handle miscommunicating yourself?
How would I handle miscommunicating myself if I caught myself
Yes.
in the situation
If you
where
catch yourself, like, oh, maybe that was a little bit of a miscommunication.
I would have a conversation with the person that I may have miscommunicated to understand how bad the situation is. Yeah. And
Risk assessment or like crisis management.
yeah. And really it's like once I ascertain which part of the conversation that was being like misinterpreted or I didn't communicate clearly or correctly, then I will actually share that correct version of things or apologize for that. I mean, firstly, I'll apologize for that miscommunication. Yeah, that I could like clarify again. And if the person still like doesn't seem to like really get it very clear, then that is when, I mean, it's like, it's again not working through that whole process
Yep.
and trying to land at the same page with the person. Yeah. So Kenny, this Reddit post, right,
Yeah.
is about this person sharing him overdressing for his brother
Ooh.
and now sister-in-law's
Yeah.
wedding. So this whole miscommunication came about because on the invitation card, it stated no dress code, wear whatever is comfortable for you. So he interpreted that, oh, maybe they put that because the wedding venue is at the lake,
Yeah.
and just to, it's like make it comfortable for the guests. But because he thought that it's for a wedding, so at least he should dress respectably for such an occasion, which eventually he put on a formal wear for the wedding.
Oh my God.
Jang, jang, jang. So on the day of the wedding, when he showed up, he noticed that everyone was dressed way more casually than he was. And it's about like polo tees, berms, like, like shorts or whatever not. And so he felt a little bit out of place.
Yeah.
And including the brother, right, was just wearing a suit with no tie.
Man.
Imagine.
Like who is the groom?
Exactly, right? So he turned up in a three-piece suit.
Oh my God.
I'm sure he looked like the groom more than the brother. Yeah. And so after the wedding, right, the following day, he got a call from his sister-in-law.
Oh.
Wow, holy shit. She's like totally so pissed with him, right?
Yeah.
And start questioning him. It's like, why did he overdress? Why didn't he follow the instructions on the card? It's like, there's no dress code, just come, anything that's comfortable. And there was some like back and forth, like, like in the conversation, but essentially, the sister-in-law was really mad and maybe used some words that shouldn't be used. So the call ended. So in his edit, parallels, right, eventually, all is good. And the best part about what this person did is he reflected. And when he saw the photos of the wedding, right, on that day when he went over to their house for dinner to kind of like make good, he saw like how he actually did look like sticking out like out of the entire crowd. And he finally got the point of like why his sister-in-law actually got mad.
Yeah.
And he apologized for that. And he owned up and then he says, I apologize for that. So I think it's all good. I think, yeah.
Yeah, and for the fact, and I love it, the last part, right, when he looked at his own photos. Because sometimes, looking at it from our eyes, right, you wouldn't be able to see how ridiculous sometimes we are. Then the photo, I'm like, oh my God, I was like really, really overdressed. And in this situation, right, my dear, do you think it was worse to overdress or underdress? I was actually thinking about
Don't
it.
dress. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is it?
I mean, if I were to receive the invitation
Yeah.
of wear whatever, no dress code, wear whatever that is comfortable, right?
Yeah.
I would imagine I'll go in a smart casual.
Oh, yeah.
That's fitting for the lake environment.
Yeah.
If I'm still not very sure about it, I'll start going around asking the
yes.
the guests that I know who are attending, like, hey, what are you wearing? To kind of like make sure that if we are going to stick out, we'll stick out as a group together.
I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. And along the way, right, I learned this thing, which really, really helps me in terms of miscommunication, right? How do I verify and clarify.
Mm.
Yeah, ask questions. Like for example, ask, right, oh, what will you be wearing and everything. So I'm not like the only one. So how can we verify and clarify? And it's all simply by asking a question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
you're just one question away from less miscommunication. Yeah, so this is hilarious.
Then how about yourself? What would you go in with?
Wow. Okay, number one, I would definitely not go in a three-piece suit if it's in Singapore. Like, oh my god, so hot. Yeah, so I wouldn't. Yeah, I would basically verify and clarify, and I would probably ask like, oh, what colors are you all wearing? Then maybe we'll be in the same color kind of tone and everything. Yeah, but no. But another way of looking at it, right? He dressed up so well because he cares.
Exactly.
Otherwise, he wouldn't, spend the effort to, like kind of like dress up as well. So I think in any miscommunication kind of situations, right? Sometimes I will also see, how can I celebrate their good intentions? Yeah, it might not end up in a nice way because he looks like
Yes.
the groom, but sometimes have a little bit of fun and say that you know what, it's because you care. Otherwise, you wouldn't even bother. Yeah.
On the hindsight, now that I think about it, he should just ditch the jacket and the vest.
I thought about this actually. Yeah, and it's an easy fix, right? During so you see, there's so many. There's more than one options. No, but another way of looking at it, right? He dressed up so well because he cares.
Exactly.
Otherwise, he wouldn't, spend the effort to, like kind of like dress up as well. So I think in any miscommunication kind of situations, right? Sometimes I will also see, how can I celebrate their good intentions? Yeah, it might not end up in a nice way because he looks like the groom, but sometimes have a little bit of fun and say that you know what, it's because you care. Otherwise, you wouldn't even bother. Yeah. So okay, for the rest of this year, Ariane, my dear, what is the one thing you will do even more to better communicate with everybody, your team, your partner, your family, everybody? What's the one thing, right, you'll be laser focused on for this year?
So recently, I saw a Bible verse.
Oh, please share. Please share.
Be slow to speak. Be fast to listen. Be slow to speak. Be slow to anger.
Ooh.
Be fast to listen. I think
Be fast to listen.
it's really that
Ooh.
whole listening.
Yes.
I mean that's one thing for me. So I think I need to I need improvement on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And really listen and not be the first to speak.
Wow, thank you. Thank you. And it's really listen. Yeah, that's why we have 2 ears and one mouth, right? Oh, very good. Thank you. Thank you
And
for
how
reminding
about
me
yourself?
also. Really let go of expectations. Yeah, let go of all expectation and have a little bit of fun. Like seriously, like, any relationship, right? Don't be too serious. Last time I was like so serious and I had so much expectation, right? That every single situation is like, oh, it's only black and white. It's only black or white. No, everything is fun. Yeah, so when I let go of the expectation, just being present in this moment, like what you say, and have fun, right? That's the thing I would continue to do even more this year. Yeah, beautiful.
Wonderful.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. I really enjoy. Thank you.
Thanks,
so much.
Kenny, for sharing.
Always. Thank you.